Welcome to Haxby Shed. This is my son's current car, a BMW 530i. I think he told me that it was 17 years old and it's done 140,000 miles. And he's doing some work on the rear suspension. He's changing this collection of parts on both sides, including this joint, which is the subject really of this video, because these are pressed in and they're an absolute devil to get out. You can see the joint there pressed in to this arm. Well, actually it's part of the hub, and we could take the entire hub off and try to do it in the press, but that's quite difficult to do in itself. So we've been using a press tool, which my son bought on eBay, guaranteed to be just right for the job. But it's not quite, not without a bit of work. This is the press tool, which comes as a set with various cups and rings. The problem is we don't have a sleeve which is the right size. This is the sleeve which is nearest to the size we need. But the problem is that the bush here has a collar on it and the collar doesn't go through. So we need to come up with a different sleeve arrangement. As a prototype, we came up with this. It's quite lightweight, but we thought we'd just see if we could get the bush joint to move. But all that happened was the top plate collapsed and it didn't work. We put a huge amount of force on the clamp, so this thing must be ever so tight. Anyway, we're going to have another go. I've bought some 60mm tube, 2mm wall thickness. This diameter here is 57mm, so I'll have to machine out 1mm in the diameter here so that this will pass through the tube, and hopefully this clamp will be strong enough. It's certainly a beast, extremely thick. Our first job is to cut the tube to length. We've just trimmed the tube in the lathe, and now we'll bore out the inside so that it slips over the bush that we need to press out. Okay, well, we've bored out the sleeve to fit. But the problem that we've got now is that this end cap, which we were planning to use, is the diameter's too big. And so we're going to have to make something else. So we're going to start with this piece of 10mm plate and machine that. And it'll need to finish about the same diameter as the pressing sleeve. We're going to drill this out to 16mm and then use an auger and put that on the lathe. With the plate set up on the arbor in the lathe, we can now make it round. Okay, that's all the machining finished on this side. Our top cap is made, including a recess for the screw to go into. I think that should do the trick. Yeah. We're getting towards the moment of truth.
No, I'm not sure we're lined up either.
Well, it's out after a huge amount of work and more work on the lathe to make a cap for this end. Hammering with the hammer. My goodness, it was difficult, but at least it's out. We've only got the other side to do now and get the new ones in, but hopefully they won't be C's like these. Hallelujah. it's out. Well, our tool has held up. It's become a bit dished and it's pressed itself into the tube, but the tube didn't collapse and it's worked, and also the big clamp has held together, and we've got a plan to get the bushes in, the new bushes in. So but here's a thought. BMW quoted £400 to do this job, and I think our advice would be just pay them. Okay. So now we turn our attention to pressing in the new joints, and we need to make up a rig, a set of pressing tubes and other fittings which allow us to press it in cleanly. And here I'm creating a peg on the end of one of the pressing tubes which will fit in to the hollow ring on the clamp so that it can't slide out of line as we press. We've reached our target dimension of 32 mils, so we'll try that in the clamp and make sure this will locate. We're going to match the profile of the joint so that the cup seats neatly onto it. And with the tool that I've got, we're going to run the lathe in reverse and cut at the back, because that's best for the shape of the tool that we have. This side of the joint has a curved profile, but it fits in perfectly well now that we've profiled the inside of the cup. I've just cleaned up the bit that we parted off so that we can use it again as a pressing sleeve for other jobs. Nice. Right, we'll go and put that to use now. We're lining it up to clamp. The new joint is in and the retaining clip is in position. We're just lining up now for side 2 to press it in. Just putting the spring clip on now on the second side. That's in, is it?
Yep, that's in.
Perfect.
Well done.
Well, I hope you enjoyed that. Thank you for watching Axe Be Shed.